Hey guys, this is Pseudo, and this will be episode 6 of the podcast Sanctuary Cast, the League of Legends talk show we have here in Asia. And joining me today is none other than the Galaxy team, and we have three of them joining us today, which is Galaxy Dawn, Galaxy Myth, and Galaxy Leary itself. So, hey girls, welcome to the show. Quick introduction about yourselves. Go ahead.
Okay, should I go first?
Sure,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Basically, Galaxy is an all-female esports team from Singapore. We started in last year, about mid last year, and currently there are 9 members. Short introduction about myself. I play the jungler role in our team currently, and a couple of my favorite champions are actually Nocturne, Maokai, and Shen. Yep. Who's next?
My turn. Hi, I'm Mirth. I play top lane I play top lane basically. I have quite a lot of champions I like, but if you say I have to pick three, Renekton, Teemo, and Nocturne. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and
Hello,
what about you, Leary?
I'm Leary. I'm the AD carry for the team. So I like to play Kog'Maw, Tristana, and Ezreal.
I don't
Okay,
like your
cool.
butterfly core skin. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I use the butterfly Kog'Maw skin by the way. Everybody says it's like damn ugly, but I find it very cute.
Okay, and how long have you all been playing together as a team? So how long has Girlaxy existed?
It's been about a year since we got set
About
up.
a year since.
Yep. And we've been actually playing offline trainings weekly and having sort of like cohesion events monthly just to have fun together as like girls, like 9 of us going out and having fun with our managers as well.
Yeah, they get tortured by us. We
Tortured,
make them
okay.
have lots of fun too.
Yeah, we usually hang out and like chill. Yeah, just normally do what girls like to do, online shopping and things like that as well.
Okay, so and once again, all of this is just based in why am I saying Malaysia? In Singapore. Sorry about that. Okay. And if there are prospective girl gamers out there who would like to join Galaxy, how could they actually do so?
You could drop us an email at our Gmail or which is thegalaxy@gmail.com, or actually like our Facebook page to find out more information at www.facebook.com/thegalaxy.
Okay, so all of that links will actually be put down in the description on the YouTube page itself, so you can actually go there and find out if you want to know more information. And also, you can follow them on Facebook, and they have like almost daily updates up there itself. In fact, some of the information about the podcast was actually pasted there first, so you can actually guys follow that. So on to our topics that we actually will be discussing today in this podcast. We will be talking about Draven and what we think about him. We will be talking about the new patch notes that will come along with Draven and the changes we see to him. We will also be talking about the Garena first year LAN Party and what happened to our poor pack Sivir skin, which I was so excited, but guess not happening. We also will be talking about the live stream revamp that Garena will be doing. And last but not the least, we will be talking about GPL, the shock that happened last week, and what's going to actually happen this week itself. So, on to our first topic itself. Oh, yes, but before that, I did mention on the Garena forums that I will be giving away 6,000 RP. There's actually a correction to that. It's 6,000 Garena shells. How many RP you get based on that is up to the winners itself. But 6,000 Garena shells will be given out over the duration of not this podcast, but over the next few podcasts. For this podcast, I decided we will be starting at 500 Garena shells. And in addition, if we do get 100 people to view this live stream that's currently going on now, I will give an additional 500 away.
That's a
So,
lot.
I know many people have been asking me where am I getting all these shells from. I'll let it out of the bag towards the end of it. So yes, no worries there. So on to the first topic itself, which is Draven.
Okay.
Leary, you are basically the AD carry for the things. Draven seems to be keeping up seems to be suited for the AD sort of carry role. Are you excited about him?
Well, I'm quite excited because his skills are like pretty unique and they are quite a new kind of hero that we have never seen before. And his first skill, the spinning axe, is like you have to like throw out the axe and then you have to like go and collect it back. So I think there's a skill cap down there that you have to like hit before you can try and play him, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would want to try him when he comes out. I think he's gonna make a pretty impressive like impact when he gets released. mm,
Based on you did mention that he is a pretty high skill cap hero. How long do you think someone will need to master him, like an average player?
Regarding that, I don't know,
I think
maybe something like like the Vayne condemn tumble thing, or like actually I'm not very sure. Yeah, but yeah, he looks pretty difficult, like especially when you want to land the spinning axe, as well as the whirling death. You have to like the axe actually goes wherever he casts or
He
something like
throws it
that.
towards here.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Sivir's first skill also, like the Q.
The boomerang blade that
Yeah, the
does fly out.
boomerang.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, in my opinion, what actually is happening is that Draven seems to be the combination of a few heroes. In the sense that you did mention like Sivir's boomerang blade that's being thrown out. Now put that in the sense of with Ezreal's arcane barrage ulti that goes out. So across an entire map, you can reach and then it pulls back all the way to you. I mean, that itself is a really high skill cap move to actually do itself. Separately, meaning Sivir's skill of boomerang blade, being able to throw it and land it back, meaning getting 2 hits off it. And then we also have the Arcane Barrage, which is another prediction skill by Ezreal itself. So combining the two is raising the skill cap even more. I mean, just for the ultimate itself, having the bouncing blades from Draven itself is another entire thing by itself. But I'm actually looking forward to him, like you said, to coming out. It's definitely going to be very interesting to watch the high skill level players use them and see what sort of exploits you can actually get with them itself. So yeah, how do you think basically Draven will stack up against the current AD carry sets now? Dawn?
I'm not very sure about his mana consumption, but if mana consumption is actually an issue, I think he might probably reach about the level of Graves. Because I honestly don't really see how he can go against a god at bottom lane, and we've been seeing that a lot in GPL. So as an AD carry, he'd probably be at the level of Graves, just a bit more player sense, if I put it correctly, to play him. Because looking at his skills, I think positioning wise in team fight is very important. He cannot be overzealous in actually trying to catch his X or throw out his ulti, so much so that he actually moves out of position and his supporter or his bruiser is unable
Basically
to
puts himself
get
in a
to him.
vulnerable position.
Yeah, so
Yep.
he's quite tricky in that sense, I guess. But I guess damage and skills wise, he's pretty much like Graves. He reminds me of Graves in like laning phase.
I don't know, based on whatever I see him doing, like, okay, yes, he's targeted primarily for, the sort of AD carry role. I'm
Yep.
also thinking that, what, with a bruiser, I believe he should be able to go up to the top lane as well. What do you think about this, Murph, since you play top?
I'll be very happy if he go top, man. I'll get to play a glowing crystal. I think it's still possible, but I really have to see how. It definitely will not be one of the stronger top lanes, because of how do I say it? He's built more for AD carry, so it's definitely a lot squishier than normal, and he doesn't really have much escape mechanisms either, unless you count the slow and the not the stand aside, which knocks people aside and slow the targets. So
Yeah.
personally, I'm not sure if it will be really really good for top. There's definitely a lot of other champions that are much better. Yeah.
Okay. So we're unsure about him. It's surprising that when Freak introduced him, Freak did not try to blame him as a jungler.
Yes, I was
Which
about to
tells-
mention that.
Maybe he tried really hard, but he couldn't do it.
Exactly, which tells me two things. Either one, it's very difficult for him to actually jungle itself, meaning that his AD ratios are very low in the early stages, or that his mana consumption is quite high, that you
High.
can't actually spam skills, even with having blue.
Yeah, sustain.
Which actually, yeah, the sustain to actually go through it, or that his armor is actually quite low itself. But it should be pretty interesting with the rune combinations and what people can come up with itself. So, no worries about that. We look at the tier 1 AD carries at the moment, and we see people like Vayne and Graves being up there at the moment. Do you think Draven will actually be on par there, or will he be one of these characters that people start to forget because people get frustrated and they just can't use him? Liri, what do you think?
I think he can be a tier 1 champion, cause technically that skill cap is quite similar to that of Vayne's, like the tumble and condemn. So if you can carry out that kind of combo, I'm pretty sure that person should be able to pull off this champion as well. So yeah, he should be, if used well, I think he can be one of the most like fearful champions.
Fearful champions out there. Someone did message me at the moment and ask me what do we think of him if he plays in the mid lane. For instance, something like Talon, where he's able to harass the AP carries out pre-6. What do you think? Bouncing blades to keep harassing the AP carries? I'm skeptical. I really am. I don't know how well he could actually do that.
But somehow, when you put an AD in the middle lane, the benefits that he gains before level 6, right? The ability to actually harass the AP carry so much so that the low health and everything would actually set up ganks and things like that. Having Draven there, well, it depends on how the player plays it, I guess. Because after all, I would think that Talon at mid would be because of his silence, and that benefits a lot at low levels itself.
Yeah, and for the fact that he actually has a very good gap closer that he can jump to people, Talon that is.
Yeah, and mid lane
So we
is
shall
one
see
of
Draven
the...
when it comes out. Yeah, we do have lots of speculations about Draven, what comes out. Now, actually talking about Draven itself, we also do notice that his skin is significantly nicer than his original skin.
Yes,
I don't
very
know why.
much.
I don't know why Riot decided to even have his normal skin. Just give us the better skin and that will be it. But recently, Riot has been only giving us one skin. Now, I have a speculation as to why it is only one skin. Whether how accurate my guess is a totally different thing. My prediction is that the reason why Riot is only giving us one skin is because they have their artists working on other skins. Well, obviously people know that. But the twist is here that as their 100 champion comes out, I do believe that there will be new skins for every champion.
Wow.
Every champion will have a new skin. Because it's kind of weird that for a company that makes money off skins, very few skins have been released recently. Or there has been a slowdown on skins.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing there must be this accumulation of things that actually comes out there.
I wouldn't mind. I would like some new legendary skins too.
Yeah, I mean the most recent ones that they're having is like the Runic War Renekton, Galio the Gatekeeper was there, even Blackthorn Morgana, and things of that sort is not actually fully out yet. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be this huge, I don't know, outpour of skins that's going to come out. Or perhaps the 100 champion might have like 10 skins with him. I don't know. But it's definitely going to be.
Must be some OP champion.
It's going to be like it's going to be like one of those Timo or Amumu where they have like so many skins and nobody knows which one to choose. So yeah.
Yeah, because they're all so cute.
Yes. I have like 3
Oh,
Timo skins. I think.
Somebody actually just asked me and said if Riot is watching this, ask them to make a Pikachu Timo. I highly doubt that will happen simply because Pikachu is actually copyrighted itself, so I don't think so that will actually happen. But it would be pretty interesting to see Pikachu come out in a Timo skin.
So what kind of shoes will he
And
plant?
his mushrooms will be Pokeballs. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
actually
interesting.
quite
Yeah, but we digress. Going on back to on topics, we've actually been talking about the patch notes that is coming up with Draven itself. In this patch notes, I think the most interesting thing that's actually being changed is actually on Ari itself, where her AP ratios are actually being increased for Foxfire and Spirit Rush, but their base damage is actually being reduced. Any reason why, guys?
I think it's probably a tweak to how players can play her, I guess. So far, her mechanics have been pretty standard across most players. Like, we haven't really seen much differences in builds and things like that, at least in the SEA server, I think.
I don't know. In my opinion, it's weird that they nerf the base damage in late game, on her later level, sorry.
Mhm.
And they increase her AP ratio. So to me, it seems as if they're giving the incentive for Ari to become very high AP scaling as compared to getting other sort of sustained items along the way, like Will of the Ancients. Even though it does give AP to Ari, I believe they're incentivizing people to actually play Ari on a more higher AP ratio itself.
Yeah. I think that as well.
And-
But yeah, if you're looking at it, her low level damage hasn't been changed a lot. It's towards the higher levels that are quite different.
Yeah. But okay, I mean, in the games that you guys have played and the games that I have played and things like that, do you believe that Ari actually falls out late game?
No, not really. I haven't
Well,
seen.
let me rephrase that. Or rather, that Ari does not deal enough damage or is on par with other AP champions.
It's actually fine right now, I think. I mean, before this patch. The damage is still really decent in late game. Although I don't know how is this gonna make it.
Actually,
Well, I don't know. I mean, even with me playing on the NA server, I don't see any sort of Ari being underused or things of that sort, even on the EU side. So, it'd be pretty interesting to see whether this change would actually bring any sort of significant impact in the way she's actually played itself. Or if it's going to be one of those tweaks that people do and nothing else happens after that. But other than that, the few other interesting things that actually did come up with the patch notes itself was that Nocturne is going to go down, making his
Yes.
jungling a little bit more difficult. The Umbra Blades are going down from at level 1 itself is going down from 15 to 10. So wow,
Yes.
that is actually going down
Ouch.
quite a bit. I
Yeah.
don't know. John, as a jungler, how big is this going to impact your game?
Well, usually when I jungle Nocturne, I probably start with like Roots and Tree Pots. Given that Umbra States gives like extra physical damage and healing him, right? This probably
Yep.
has some effect on his sustainability at early stages, given that the most highly nerfed part was actually the first level itself from 15 to 10. So probably be looking at more hard leashes, I guess.
What?
Or
Change items.
either that or probably get more armor and stuff on my own runes itself. Yeah. I will need to try it out to see how much this has actually affect the Nocturne jungling itself, the phase, yeah. Because
But
right now,
definitely the jungle is going to become slower. I
yeah,
would assume
yeah, it's gonna become slower.
because you can't actually get more damage here.
Yeah, so
It's going to become slower. Will this push Nocturne down the tiers of jungling?
I don't actually think so
I don't.
because it's just at the start that it's more vulnerable. Slightly after that it's 20 to 18 and then it's adjusted from in fact 25 to 26 in later stages.
I
So
mean, to me, it seems that like as you were talking about the later stages, it being fine, that the values return almost back to normal itself.
yeah.
Is this preventing the Nocturnes from power leveling to level 6 in the jungle, and then using the ultimate to fly around and gank people? So like preventing the slower junglers out there itself from being able to reach level 6 faster than jungle and go out there itself to counter gank and to actually gank the lanes. I think that's what the main purpose of this is for. To slow down his jungle a little so that he cannot abuse the level 6 as fast.
But
Because
actually
if you play Twisted Fate and Nocturne, they level 6 about the same time. They reach level 6. Sorry,
yeah.
you were saying?
No, I wanted to mention that actually not Nocturne himself, right? You can start ganking when you get Fear and the Shield. Basically E and W. I don't really rely on the ultimate that much in order to start ganking. In fact, I start ganking at about level 3 or level 4, depending on how push my lanes are and who are the opponent champions itself.
Okay. I mean, for me, it's like I'm thinking of combinations where like global ultis are in play here. For instance, like Shen or Pantheon or Twisted Fate, where for instance, a four-man gank at bottom and things like that can be like really devastating, especially if both of them die and a dragon is taken immediately after that. So
Mm.
I think that's what basically has been happening to the meta game recently, where if you see many of the tournaments, many of the games, that's what happens. They destroy bottom lane, they take dragon, and one team becomes pretty snowballed after that itself. But we shall see once again what happens to Nocturne. The other interesting thing I actually want to talk about, this is the first time I'm actually talking more about patch notes than anything else, is Graves. That his damage is reduced at later ranks for his buckshot, but his damage per extra bullet is increased by 10%. Now, this is, to me, a huge buff in the extra bullet damage, considering the fact that he can just dash forward and buckshot people right in the face itself. And many people actually have been using that to destroy teams out there. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite
I
like
don't know
a
how strong this will actually be.
it's quite like his nerf doesn't really look like a nerf. It makes like I don't know. It feels like they're equalizing the damage or something.
I think they are trying to make it so that he becomes this other high risk, high reward sort of champion where if you buckshot normally, you know what, you're not gonna deal that much damage. But if you can aim it really well, you're gonna deal tons of damage. Which I think is really scary in the sense that many of the users who actually can use Graves properly will be using this to the maximum potential. As it is, once Graves reaches level 6, the buckshot into his ultimate itself is already really, really powerful itself. And if you don't have, for instance, Soraka there to heal you up and give you armor, or you don't have your true grit up to 10 stacks itself, it is going to be really devastating for any sort of lane that he's in itself. So I don't know whether this is too much. To me, it's a buff. It's not actually a nerf.
Yeah.
Is it too much of a buff? I don't know itself, but we should see. There's actually has been very few changes to many of the champions within this patch note itself. Most of them have actually been targeted at the AD carries itself, with Urgot, with Kog'Maw, with Graves, with Ezreal, all having minor changes done to them. The other important change was Kog'Maw's Living Artillery, which is his ultimate. The bonus to champions has actually been reduced to 125% from 150% itself. I'm guessing this is just going to prevent people from Kog'Maw users from continuously landing living artilleries and just shredding any enemies that actually want to get out of the way itself. Liri, you did mention that you like using Butterfly Kog'Maw itself.
Yeah, correct.
What are your thoughts on living artillery being nerfed by 25%?
Technically for this nerf, right, I think it applies more for AP Kog'Maw rather than AD Kog'Maw, cause like majority of the time, like AP Kog'Maw, they'll probably use the living artillery more than the AD Kog'Maw. So other than that, I think for this it will also, if you're talking about AD carry wise, right, I think it will affect during the laning phase, like maybe during the zoning period whereby you want to use the living artillery to zone the other carry out. Maybe the damage that they receive will like decrease. Other than that, I think it affects AP more. Yeah, if you're gonna build the Kog'Maw into an AP champion.
And we actually have seen many of the Kog'Maw being used as AP. In fact, in which match was it? I can't remember. In GPL, one of them had used AP Kog'Maw and shredded throughout the team. If I'm not mistaken, the Taipei Assassins against Bangkok Titans, if I'm not mistaken. Was it that game? I can't remember. It'll come back to me. I can't remember. There's just been so many games recently.
So. Yeah, I can't remember also, but I remember seeing it was against an Ari, is it? AP Kog'Maw versus Ari, was it?
If I'm not mistaken, yes. So yeah, we'll actually be moving on with that itself. We will be going on to the interesting of Garena's 1-year LAN Party, and Pack Sivir skin will not be the skin that will be given out. There have been, the official report actually has been released saying that because it is a contract, or rather contract, more like agreement between Riot and PAX itself, hence Garena can't be giving out the skins that way. And there already has been voting up as to what sort of skins people actually want to get from it itself. I actually knew of this news about like a few days ago. And I was actually really sad when they told us that Pack Sivir wasn't going to actually come out anymore. At the moment, we do see Musketeer Twisted Fate leading up the voting on what is it actually going to be. What do you guys think? What sort of skins do you want to see being out there? And are you actually sad that Pack Sivir is no longer on the table?
I think they should replace it with stuff that actually are on equal level with Pack Sivir instead of giving us I don't know, I personally don't like the TF skin.
Yes, I don't either.
If I had to choose.
I don't know. When I won the Garena Clan tournament, one of the prizes was having the Twisted Fate skin. Nothing special, to be honest. I don't know why people want it so badly. I really don't. So yeah, I really don't know why people want to do it itself. Yeah. I don't know why people actually want Twisted Fate, the Musketeer Twisted Fate skin so much. I think they should definitely be asking for one of the more cooler skins out there. Like, I don't know, they should be getting Garena to give them, I don't know, Legendary Gatekeeper Galio or something of that sort. One of the newer skins, one of the more boss skins out there.
Yes, Gatekeeper Galio looks so badass, man.
Exactly. It should definitely be put like one of those things instead of poor things. Yeah, even like having Kitty Cat Katrina come out and things of that sort. Those skins that are very difficult to find anymore. I think those skins should actually be shown. So if you guys are listening to this and you actually agree with me, please go vote or get Garena to actually change the skins that they have there itself. Even Unchained Alistair and things like that. There is no mention of it, which is so sad.
They should be giving us stuff that we can't buy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually reading the chat at the moment and people are saying Surprise Fiddle and things like that. I mean, Surprise Fiddle can be bought from the shop itself. Unchained Alistair can't be bought. So definitely it's something that once become out, people are asking for the green color Ezreal. I mean, you see, there's so many other skins that come out there. I think what Garena should do is that they should get us like, you know what? You can choose between 1 or 5 skins, and we'll credit that to your account. So we doesn't have to rely on everybody just getting one skin, but they can have like 5 different skins, and you can choose from one out there.
Yeah, and given the
People are
fact
seeing
that
Pulse Fire as yeah, I mean, so it suits the masses of what people want itself. Like, I don't want Musketeer Twisted Fate.
I
I
don't
thought
even
of just
play
going for the
Twisted Fate.
events.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, I thought of the many people who actually go to the event just for the pack Sivir skin, and then without that gone, it's not going to be there itself. So it should be pretty interesting. People are actually asking for Pulse Fire Ezreal. Yeah, that is no way that's actually going to happen. Everybody will be disconnecting from games. Nobody will be playing, and they're going to blame Garena for it itself. Yeah. It should be pretty interesting. The other thing about the LAN party that's actually going to come out. Okay, I'm going to give you a little secret. I'm not sure if I actually am allowed to actually tell you guys this. But for those of you all who were watching on Wednesday, I was at the Garena offices and I was doing the Malaysian live stream with Teddy Tibbers over there. So I actually got to see the build up to what was actually going to happen for the LAN party itself. I got to see the t-shirts that's actually going to be coming out there. Sadly, no, I did not steal a t-shirt, although it did cross my mind. Teddy
Which
Tibbers watching me
t-shirt
too
is going to be
closely.
there?
I did see the Garena t-shirts, meaning the red and black ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as well as the ones that won the competition.
Oh.
The what is it? Mundo does what he
Ghost.
wants.
The Ghost where he teases.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So I did see that there. I also did bump into the KL Hunters that were actually there itself, and they were actually practicing itself. And I actually got to find out interesting things about the LAN event itself that will be happening. Sorry, I don't have any information about the Singapore side, but if you guys do want to know what's actually going to happen for the Malaysian side, I will be talking about it a little bit later. Hopefully, none of the GMs start, PMing now again and talking about that I should shut down my live stream or I can't talk about it. So I shall hopefully mention it really quickly soon. On to the next thing itself. Will Girlaxy make an appearance at the Singapore LAN party?
We will most likely go.
It's been actually announced on the forums at the moment that we will be there at the LAN party itself for the Singapore side exhibition matches alongside with SGS. Yep.
We are around with SGS as well. And will all 9 of y'all be there?
That actually depends because it's on a weekday and the timing was late afternoon, early evening. So yeah, we have yet to sort it out between ourselves.
Okay, cool. So sadly I won't be there, so I won't get to actually see you guys out there. Most likely I'll get my wonderful assistants to come get something autographed by you guys. That's fine, right?
A special one for you guys.
We have special Galaxy cards.
Oh, your special Galaxy cards, really?
Yes.
Oh, also, wait, so that's what the cards were actually. We were talking about this in the afternoon earlier. About the guy at Morton's, and you said that you were actually signed a card for him. So now I understand the card.
Yep. Yeah. Cards to write.
So finally, it makes sense.
We actually have cards to write on and give out during events. Yep.
Okay. People are saying I'm hot for Leary. No, I'm not going for any one of them. They are in fact taken. All of them are taken. So yes, none of them are on the table. So that settles that issue. I do believe I'm going to lose viewers now just because I said that. Moving along, we're actually going to be talking about. Actually, you know what? Do you want to promote one of your managers right now? Okay, go ahead and do so.
Yeah, if anybody wants a guy, we might. See my screen if
So yeah,
you want to apply.
so yeah, if anybody is looking for a boyfriend out there, Girlaxy can hook you up. Wait, your manager is straight, right?
Yeah.
Yes, as far as we know.
Yes. Okay. So as far as they know, Galaxy is straight. Galaxy is straight. What am I saying? Their manager is straight itself. So for most, I'm guessing the 34 people watching at the moment. If you are guys, sorry. If there are any girls watching it, you can contact Galaxy itself there. So yeah. Oh, people are saying, Neslo must be in the other Salies, but oh well. Moving along to the next thing. We're actually going to be talking about the live stream. Now, this has been changed by Garena. I'm talking about the Garena live stream, not the current stream we're actually doing right now. And that they said they're going to change it to become more educational, in a sense, more professional, having 5v5 games of the normal meta, and they're actually going to be doing less mini games or no mini games of that sort, and it's going to be limited to once a week, with Singapore and Malaysia alternating between them.
Mhm.
Do you think this is a good thing?
I actually think it's a good thing because we've been having so much live streams. It's kind of exhausting to keep watching it. And then additionally, there's like GPL going on during the weekends. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
there's probably like some shift of viewers from the normal live streams to the GPL live streams, and people probably like, oh, I might as well just watch the GPL ones because I probably learn more out of it. Yeah, so I think this is probably a good turn for it itself.
To me, GPL is like professional, and there will come a point where GPL will end, and then there will only be live streams left, unless Garena has like something else planned immediately after GPL. So, to me, it seems like it's a maybe a temporary sort of solution, but in the long run, I think it's not actually going to work. And one live stream a week, I think, is a little bit too little, in the sense that because you can win IP boosts from live streams, which the players want, and with only one live stream being up there, you can only have 3 games. So there's a maximum of basically 27 people that can ever win in 1 week, as compared to before, which was the number was 3 times more. If you're talking about having the people watching to learn now itself, I think there should be still the fun side cap there itself. Maybe one episode, the fun episode where we play mini games, we laugh, we joke. People get to actually play with the GMs itself. And then on the other side, we have the more educational, the more serious side. So like players can actually learn sort of things like that. What do you think, Leary and Murph?
Because we actually went for the live streams before for the mini games. I think like previously, personally, I think there was like it was happening too many times a week because there wasn't really much proper like normal games. So when you look at the chat inside, also people just start to get more and more rowdy sometimes. Like, cause all you do is play mini games,
Yeah, we play
and
like
like have a lot of fun.
we play like all mid games or all bottom games in Dominion or something like that. Yeah, it was like really
Yep.
all in the name of fun, that kind of stuff. So I think
Okay.
this shift of like from maybe this so-called mini games to like real normal games, it will maybe bring like more crowd back. Like it's like maybe a stepstone to like the GPL. Like cause like when we watching GPL, we are like watching all the pros play all those stuff. And when we play
Mhm.
normal games, because technically some of us we aren't at the rank of like the pros yet. So if we watch normal games, we probably like maybe can like relate to them. So I think it's quite a good shift in my opinion. Like I'll probably like watch it instead of like those like all mid games, all bottom games. But to me it's pretty redundant actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's still necessary to keep. Sorry.
You're reading the chat, aren't you? I don't know. For me, it's there was the other side of this conversation that I was actually having with the GMs when I was over on the other side there, which was the thing. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, the thing I was talking about to the GMs was that when spectator mode does come out itself, people can actually be watching each other. So I mean, that itself would be the fun side and things like that already would be taken up by, you can watch your friends play, you can watch matches and all actually being going on itself. So I think this is also a change. This is more like an indicator to that change is coming actually really soon. So we should actually see on how actually that's coming. So yeah, live stream itself. Do you girls actually have a live stream?
Currently, we don't have one, but we are in the midst of trying to set one, our own live stream up. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so there you go. If you guys really want the Girlaxy to come with a live stream really quick, go onto their Facebook page and somebody make a comment, say that go get a live stream and everybody go like it itself out there. So that definitely their managers on the other side, they can work hard towards it itself. And it actually would be pretty interesting to see you guys play or during your training sessions or things of that sort out there. Because if I'm not mistaken, you are the only all-female team that does esports in Southeast Asia, that is.
Doesn't Malaysia have one too? Under Garena.
Does Malaysia have one? Anybody in the chat can confirm with me.
There's a female
Yeah,
launch.
that's one. MYA.
Because that's fine.
MYA.
What's MIA? Malaysian.
No, wait. Mystical Angels, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and,
Okay, so
and
yeah,
there are a
we
few
will find out now.
other teams. There are a few other teams that play other games apart from League of Legends itself. Mostly in I
Okay,
think
no, but for
Dota.
solely for League of Legends.
Yeah, it's just us
But that's
and MYA.
okay. So cool. So we have one for Singapore and one for Malaysia itself that's upcoming there. Definitely going to support you guys out there. It's pretty interesting to actually see the rise of girl gamers among out there itself. And we actually be moving on into one of our final topics itself. One of our main final topics before we go into our chit chat session. But just before that, we actually will be taking a 5 minutes break away from the current topics, and this is when I actually will be releasing the information for, or rather, the steps in what you can do to win the 500 RP. So yes, okay. So to win the 500 RP, it's going to be really simple. So I'm going to say this pretty slow so that everybody gets it itself. Because if you don't get it, I will not be repeating it. You will actually need to wait for the YouTube video to come out before you can actually listen to it again. So here we go. To get the 500 RP, what you need to do is you need to like and subscribe our video on YouTube when it does come out, and you need to leave us a comment there, as well as I want you. The comment can be anything, but I want. Let's see. I'm actually thinking this off the top of my head at the moment. Okay, for the podcast thread that is currently on Garena itself there, I want you guys to actually give me a name of who else you would like to see in future episodes. So not maybe the next episode itself, but future episodes. Please do not go and write there Hotshot GG or somebody of that sort, where at the moment we can't actually get out there, but I am trying to work up there. So someone from the community who you would like to see on the podcast itself there. So yes. So yes, so those are what you need to actually do to win the 500 RP itself. So we currently have 38 people actually watching the live stream. You are 62 people away from getting the extra 500 RP itself. So yeah, which is
Garena Shells.
possibly going to come up there.
Garena Shells.
Yes, Garena Shell. Sorry, Garena Shell. Yes. So once again, subscribe, comment, and like the video, and I'll be choosing one of you guys from out there before the next podcast comes out, and that will be 500 Garena Shells. So if you convert it, I'm not sure how much exactly you get, but that's 500 extra shells for you guys out there. So yes. We'll actually be going off break now and back into the topic itself. So welcome back from the break itself, and we'll actually be doing our last topic, which coincidentally coincides with the last question we asked the Girlaxy team, which is Garena Premier League. So yes, I believe Saturday was the most interesting day for for the Garena Premier League. Was it Saturday or Sunday? The match between Taipei Assassins and Manila Eagles. I can't remember. Sunday, I believe, right? Can nobody confirm that with me? Yes. Okay. So yeah, that was a shocking match out there. I believe Dawn, you did watch that match, right?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think? Was it a huge shock that they actually lost?
Okay. Well, looking at who TPA actually fielded out, Kulalin and Toys as jungle, that's probably the first time in GPL that we actually saw them in the roles that they played. I wasn't exactly expecting a loss from TPA, but I was expecting them to put in much more effort to actually win the game itself as per their usual games.
Leary, did you watch the match, or what do you think of the highlights from watching the match itself there?
Okay,
Do you think that Manila Eagles really outplayed Taipei Assassins, or that Taipei Assassins did not take it seriously enough?
from the highlights that I watched, like provided by Garena, I think the engagements by Manila Eagles were very nicely done. Like the AD characters were very well protected, and honestly, if you ask me, I thought it was a very huge surprise to me that TP actually lost it. So um, quite harsh to say. I thought that maybe TPA didn't really put up much of a huge fight, to be honest, in that game.
Okay. I was talking to a few people from the Garena offices, and we were actually talking about this loss that Taipei Assassins actually suffered over the past weekend in week 3 of the Garena Premier League itself, and many of them accredited Cassidin to their loss. Simply because one, they believe that Taipei Assassins was not actually prepared to go up against the Cassidin, because Cassidin has been basically long put off or long not played the from any sort of championship tournament. It's very rarely do you actually see Cassidin out there, so they didn't know how to react, and because they were unsure of how to react, that's why Nautilus depth charge kept going off Cassidin itself, and Cassidin would just jump away and be perfectly safe itself, allowing for Graves to actually go in and wipe the team. But they do believe that with this loss itself, Taipei Assassins will come back extremely aggressive in this week, and to make sure that they do show their dominance, ensuring that they don't lose another time again. So I don't know. For me, I was actually commentating that match itself, and I was actually shocked that Manila Eagles actually managed to keep ahead in kills, even though they were losing out in goal overall. Should be very interesting to see in this coming week, which is tomorrow, starting tomorrow, Friday, whether who will actually move up in the table. So Taipei Assassins still remaining on top with Singapore Sentinels there. We do see now the fight where it is 3 wins each, which is KL Hunters and Manila Eagles having 3 wins each itself there. So what will actually happen, who will actually clench the third spot up there, will be actually decided within this week itself. Hopefully, if not, they will still remain at 4-4 or 3-3 itself if they either win or lose the games out there itself. But nonetheless, I am expecting to see spectacular games this week itself, especially from Taipei Assassins, ensuring that nobody takes them lightly anymore, and that was just a one in a million shot that Manila Eagles actually managed to do so itself. But in other news, we do see that currently Bangkok Titans has not won a single game yet. Do you think that will actually change in the process of this, the whole entire Garena Premier League, or will they continuously lose out? Dawn, what do you think?
Looking at actually having watched a couple of matches that the BKT actually played, I honestly think it's quite hard for them to, at this point in time, take over any other teams in the league itself. But given that their player ages are all like very young, probably just give them enough experience and they'll be able to do it in probably the next few leagues itself.
I think they might probably be quite demoralized also, considering their losses so far.
Yeah, but it is only week 3. I mean, this is week 4 itself, and there are 7 weeks in total, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 9 weeks in total. So we are reaching about the halfway point there. So I do believe they can still make a comeback. It definitely is there itself. If anything, Manila Eagles basically showed us that there is no such thing as supreme dominance over any sort of team over there. So I'm pretty sure it will turn around sooner or later out there itself. But other than that, which team are you actually cheering for the Garena Premier League?
I'm on neutral
Leary, what
ground.
about you?
Sensitive.
You're on neutral grounds. Leary, what about you?
Yeah, same. I don't really have any particular group.
Everybody's on neutral grounds.
Yeah.
Personally, I kind of like Taipei Assassins because of the way the team doesn't. If you watch, like the way their team plays most of the time, they do not give up, even though they have a. Like when they played, there was one game I watched. They have like 0-8 for the kills, but they don't just give up. You know that they're still keeping it cool, and they end up winning the game, which I think is very admirable because most people will just start to lose their morale when they see such a huge gap in the score. Yeah, so I like that part of the team.
Yeah, they have this
Okay.
unique tendency to actually bounce back from games that didn't start off very well for them. And yeah, that's very admirable.
I mean, I believe that's the spirit that all sort of gamers should have, that you shouldn't give up to the very end. You shouldn't be like, you know what, we're going to lose, let's throw the game. Or halfway through where, you're going down and you believe there's a point of no return. I don't think so anybody should actually give up itself. It actually goes to show like what sort of, what's the word I'm looking for here? What sort of, I wouldn't say attitude, but sort of like, what sort of personal, attributes you have of yourself, whether you're a person who actually gives up or a person who fights to the very end itself there. Yeah. I don't think so the word's actually professional itself there, but it's more like the never give up spirit they actually have there itself. So yeah. On the last front, actually, we'll be talking about a little bit more about GPL before we actually end this and we take a little bit more questions, since there seems to be lots of people asking questions actually in the chat this time around. Is that for the GPL itself, we suspect that Taipei Assassins and Singapore Sentinels will be the top 2 teams going up there. But as for third, currently between Manila Eagles and KL Hunters now, many people did suspect that KL Hunters would take third. But with Manila Eagles showing what they're actually worth in the last game against Taipei Assassins, do you think that will actually change?
Kill Hunters actually recently had a new member added to them, right, as their AD carry. I think he's been doing quite well in the games itself, so it's pretty hard to say who would win the third place comparing Manila Eagles and KLH, because I feel like KLH has been picking up their game quite well.
Okay, so there we have it. So we do see KL Hunters and Manila Eagles. That will be the deciding match over this weekend. So we're actually going to see what's going to happen over there. I will be actually live streaming. I wouldn't be actually live streaming. It's not the right word. I will be commentating on it based on the Garena live streams itself. So that hopefully we can cover up the match itself. So if you guys are interested in watching it itself, those in the chat or those watching this on YouTube itself, it will be on this page itself on twitch.tv/sanctlol. So you can actually watch it up there. We will try to get it as best as possible, so we can do so. Once again, so yeah. I have no idea why somebody called me the spirit of cockroach, but oh well, sing us a song. From the current viewpoint, I don't know. The chat is going insane for me at the moment. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm actually looking at
understand.
it as well.
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, this is the end of the podcast as it is already. We will be taking a few more questions. Specifically for Dawn, Murph, and Lyri at the moment here. So if you guys want to actually hear Lyri's voice once again, before she has to leave, do ask her a question. So yes. Nobody has a question. Do you guys have any questions? Meaning Lyri, Murph, and Dawn, do you have any questions that you want to ask the people in the chat and see what actually they come up with?
Hmm. Let's think about this.
Um,
I don't
I'm
know.
not going to actually read out the questions itself. Lyri, are you actually reading the chat?
Yeah.
Do you think Pseudo
Okay,
is
somebody's asking
handsome?
how is. That was someone I so didn't want to read.
I help you read it. How is
Less word, we
Galaxy
shall not be asking that question.
formed? We were
Sorry,
actually
what?
formed. No, I'm
Yeah.
actually reading the questions. How was Galaxy formed?
Yeah.
We were actually formed last year, mid last year. Actually by a group of like-minded people who wanted to give female gamers a chance an opportunity actually to be able to compete and train up. And we actually applied, went through interviews, and that's actually how the 9 of us got in to Galaxy.
Yep. Like-minded people being our
Okay.
managers. Yeah.
Yep.
So the girls all have to go through audition.
And are there any sort of okay, people asking is Girlaxy sponsored? Yes, they are sponsored. So we just talk a little bit about your sponsors.
We have TT Sports and Quirky. TT Sports, they give us the gears that we are using to play, keyboards, mousepad, headphones, everything. Yeah. And Quirky is a t-shirt design. They print our team t-shirts for us. Yep.
Okay.
Hello.
Nelson is actually redefining the question. In the sense of when you're sponsored, are you actually paid? Like, yeah.
No.
Oh no,
So yeah.
we don't get monthly pay like SGS. The team was formed for it's more like a passion-driven thing, so we do things not for money incentives. Yeah. I think most of the girls that come here come in for
Okay.
quite a solid reason. They want to win a competition or they want to make a difference as a female gamer. So yeah, you don't need the money to attract them here.
Okay. What other questions are there for Galaxy before we leave them? I'm not sure if Netherblast is actually asking that question seriously. Do any of you play a god because his Saxenius knows it really?
I don't think a girl is sexy at all. Really.
Okay, so the answer is no. Okay. If you're given a chance to play with SGS, will you? I'm pretty sure the answer is yes.
Yeah, we actually. I mean, we have played with them really long ago. Screams. Yeah. So nothing wrong with it, I guess.
Okay. And I guess this would be what the second last question we're actually going to have out there is they actually did talk already about what their favorite champions are itself there. But generally, when you guys do meet up, what are your hobbies to do when you're not gaming, and things of that sort? So yeah, or is gaming your only hobby?
No. I like to cook actually. Pastries or yeah, I really like sweet stuff, so I like to cook.
I'm
Yeah.
actually hungry at the moment, and that's making me so much hungrier. Okay, what about you, Lyri? Hobbies?
Hobbies. I like to watch Korean dramas. That's very ordinary, I guess. And I like to read books.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sort of books?
Currently I'm still reading the Hunger Games one. I'm pretty slow. Yeah.
Okay. The Hunger Games series is a pretty good book to actually pick up there itself. So yeah. What about you, Murph?
Sorry?
What
Books
about you?
or
What are your
drama?
hobbies? Books or drama?
No, I mean, wasn't I the one to say I like cooking? How about Dawn?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Um,
Sorry, got mixed up here. Whoops.
no, it's alright. I actually have never. Sorry. I was just replying the chat, so I'm a bit confused now. Okay. I actually like taking photographs with either my DSLR or my toy camera when I'm free, and shopping. Basically, these two hobbies itself.
So she takes pictures and then she buys the things that's in the pictures. Okay.
No.
So yes, one last question before we end the show. Well, Warlord, I think that's pretty obvious, but yes, one last question. I'm not sure why people are talking about Udia all of a sudden.
I don't know. He keeps asking me if I'm playing
Okay.
Udia. I'm like, I've never played Udia.
Okay, I think Shade has a really interesting question. Who do you guys look up to in real life and in League of Legends?
In real life.
You really wanna go first?
Okay. I guess in real life I look up to my dad. Well, I think he's a
Okay.
very awesome figure. Yeah. And in game, I guess I look up to Equivocal. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Murph, what about you?
If you're talking about game, I like. Obviously, I would like a top player, which the top player is from TPA. What was his name again? Stanley, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He. I don't say it's a
And
bit
what
like.
about in real life?
Oh, okay, in real. I have no idea actually.
You have no idea who you look up to in real life. Okay, no worries about that. John, yourself.
I look up to the Odd One as well as Hotshot GG. In real life, probably
Okay,
no
the odd.
one. No one at all in real life.
No one at all in real life. Okay, yikes.
I don't know. Are you
Okay.
talking about a idol or something or?
I mean, like, yeah, like Idol or something of that sort in like real life, like you aspire to be, I don't know, Angelina Jolie or something like that. Like, you know.
What?
Okay, I
I
have
don't know. I'm
one.
naming. Like,
I have
okay, you have
one.
one, so go ahead.
Nelson Mandela. Yeah.
Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
Okay, cool. All of a sudden, this discussion became very philosophical and very serious. Nelson Mandela called out.
Which is why I was a bit awkward saying it.
Nah, man, it's completely. I actually do look up to Nelson Mandela itself. He's a very very strong leader and a very visionary leader itself out
Yes.
there. But that's
Very
for some other time to talk about that. So thank you so much for Dawn, Murph, and Leary for representing Girlaxy and coming on the 6th episode of the podcast itself. I hope you guys had had some fun here and it wasn't too bad for each of you all here.
Thanks
Any
for having
last
us.
words?
Yeah.
You're most welcome.
It was a fun
So yeah, with
experience of this.
and
Thank
Lyri's still
you.
not going to say anything. Poor Lyri. I think everybody's like waiting for Lyri to say something. Like, you need to say something.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for having us. And I guess stay tuned to the next episode.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so Lyric is helping you promote already.
I don't
Okay,
know.
okay, so basically this will be the end of the episode. Sadly, there will not be the additional 500 outfit release because the peak viewers is actually currently at the moment, which is 35. So thank you once again, Girlaxy, for coming on and joining me on the 6th episode of the podcast itself. And it was great having you guys here. So hopefully we will play a few games later. I actually do have Murph on my account friends list there. So we will play a game. Hopefully we'll get a few of you viewers to actually come and join us. Maybe in the game. We'll decide and find out in the future if that actually does happen or not. And if you actually want it itself, do say it down for us there itself. So yes. This will be the end of the podcast, episode 6. So thank you all for listening and joining us today. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode 7 next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.